Hey everyone, this is Jesse and welcome to the Valiant Lifestyle channel. I am going to talk today about the struggle. I'm going to talk today about the struggle and the feeling of not feeling enough. And I know I've talked about that in many previous videos, but I have a really good example to share with you today. I want you to indulge me. So here we go. I've been having some discussions with some of the men that I support, some of the men that support me, and something that came up in conversation when one of these men were one of my brothers we were talking about our kids, and he mentioned something that was really awesome, and the conversation took off, and it was he realizes that he does not want to step in with his son when his son's trying to do something, because he wants to afford his son the ability to do it on his own. And with that, some comments that resonate true. And that is, in his childhood, he felt like when his parents would do that, like not only was he doing it wrong, but like it wasn't enough. So this creates some sort of shame within you, and it creates this frame around the experience being negative. When somebody goes to coach you or show you something, you break down and you just fall apart, and you don't want that, because for two reasons. It makes life miserable for you, and it also creates this I'm not good enough, I'm not going to be ever good enough poverty mentality. And what I added to this was, I too catch myself from time to time trying to jump in with my girls when they're building Legos, or they're writing, they're doing some homework, or they're just creating something themselves. And you know, as a dad, I want to have my input. I want to talk to them. I want to have fun with them. But sometimes it gets a little bit obtuse, and I've caught myself in those moments going, "Wow, I'm being a little too overbearing. I'm cutting in too much." And what it's doing is it's tearing them down. It feels like a slight on them. And they feel a little embarrassed, as if they should have known the answer all along. They should have done it right all along. And in reality, it's what I did to them that didn't serve very well. So when I reflect upon it in my own life, it was my parents. When they would jump in, it made me feel like I wasn't enough. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to make up for that. I'm trying to overcompensate. And it gets me into a bind, because I want the best for them. I really want the best for them, and I'm very passionate about that. But when it comes to the compassion part, their process might be different than mine, but the outcome will still be the same. Let them struggle. Let them struggle a little bit. This not only helps with resilience, but helps with confidence. And then you don't get into the shame factor. You don't get into the I'm not good enough thing. And what this really is for me is the inner child within me not feeling good enough. I get to resolve that myself. I don't put that on my kids. So I'm really fortunate to have this conversation. I've had this conversation with my good friend, and he and I will hold each other accountable to that. We'll talk about that. But what we've talked about with this is, we catch the I'm not good enough lie that we've told ourselves for so long, but there's still seeds, these still little seedlings every once in a while with this I'm not good enough thing that crop up. And those are little moments where you get little glimmered moments where you get to see what that looks like. But as a dad, I want to enjoy the ride. I'm here to make some mistakes. I am perfect, getting perfecter, and I love what I do. I love my girls, I love my kids, I love my wife, and I learn I grow. And that's what it's all about here. It's all about expanding. It's all about expansion of who you are and how you are and your feelings. So in your life, where does this show up? Where does this show up for you? Where you start just getting a little bit too intrusive with things, with kids. I don't know, maybe your friendships, maybe your relationship and your marriage. Maybe you just got to let things go. Let your wife just do the thing so she figures it out. Maybe you've got to set the boundary and say, I'm just going to do the thing and figure this out, and that's how it's going to be, and let me make this mistake if you see that it's going to be a mistake. And we'll all laugh about it in the end, because it will be funny. And you can laugh at me, I'm going to laugh at me, and we're going to get over it. So, if this is a tough spot for you, and it's not so funny, I'd like to hear from you. I want to help you through it. I want to help you smooth that over. I want to help you get through this pain point of not feeling good enough. So you will book an appointment with me at the valiantlifestyle.com, and the 30-minute call, the 30-minute complimentary call is on me. I cover that, and we'll talk about a lot of things. We'll talk about where you want to listen. I'll listen to where you want this to go, what you want to change as far as having a better understanding of not feeling good enough, and where you want to apply it, and where it's showing up in your life and your relationships, and not feeling enough within your business or your work. And I can help you all through that. I love talking about these things because forming plans, coming up with strategies, deploying tools is what I'm all about. All right, I'm going to leave it there.